No, the blue jacket. Very informative, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many you can think
I know,
of.
I don't.
Wonderful.
Oh.
That's all right. Good.
Okay, so as you were saying, for your question,
Yes.
yeah, apologies, we were having some
Okay,
chair
no worries.
issues.
So my question was not for a mortgage that's delinquent, but you have a mortgage. What is the process to not have to pay it anymore? How long does it take, and an average, what does the process look like?
So the first thing is you can do is you can commence a claim against them. So they don't have to make a claim against you first. You can start the proceedings because based on the circumstances, they're deceiving you in those contracts. So the instrument you signed called the approval, that was a trading bond that got put on the stock market, with an intrinsic value that's trading, monetized, securitized, and you're not getting equal consideration. Secondly, pursuant to contract law, all contract is once signed by both parties and settled, there can't be contingency. The mortgage agreement, because that's what it is, an agreement, it's not a contract. So therefore, they deceived you there. An agreement can be based on contingency. The mortgage agreement is a trust agreement that they put in place for you, but they steal in your benefits. So because there's a trading bond in place, when you sign it, say, let's go back to the $500,000. Say you're purchasing a home for $500,000. You go in to sign the approval. That was a promissory note. Because there's no money, there hasn't been any lawful money since 1933. Public policy bill in Congress, HJR 192, that's House Joint Resolution 192. There hasn't been any lawful money. Gold and silver are the only lawful money. Precious metal, etc. The implementation of the Federal Reserve notes, fiat currency, was pledged by the federal government of all democratic form of government to discharge their citizens' debts dollar for dollar. It wasn't meant for one to be working for it and becoming a slave to that debt piece of paper. It's not backed by anything. It's not backed by silver, not gold. It's backed by the people's energy. So that's why it's still in circulation and still have values, because we, the people, put value into it. Everybody's paper chasing. Everybody's about that money. They need money. So the energy of the people, that's what's backing it. So we have unlimited credit as the people. You can't have bad credit or good credit. That's an oxymoron, because credit was already something that's good. If you look into the definition of credit, it was already good. So you can't have good credit. Bad and credit cannot associate either. So that is also an oxymoron. So we all have a social insurance number. You hear what the word is? Social insurance number. And that number is tied directly to the Federal Reserve, Bank of Canada, and Insurance Canada. That's why if you're working, if you're looking for a job, they want your social insurance number. If you're getting a car, you're buying a house, they want, but then they would let it to believe that it's for tax purposes. What does tax have to do with you purchasing a home, right? No, it's to go to your treasury. That's where the funds is coming from. Bear in mind, I'm not trying to lose anyone. There is no lawful money, so they're only trading bonds, stocks and bonds, right? That's why even the people are in court, you require a citation bond or a bail bond. A bond is a financial instrument. It's all about trading, securitizing and trading. Now, after they monetize that instrument, what they do is that $500,000 that you think you signed for or you approved for, because you did not reserve your rights to that contract, you signed a signature. A signature is a commercial instrument. That means you're giving away your rights as a living sentiment. You were supposed to autograph it. You were supposed to autograph and reserve your rights. But because they didn't do that now, the CFO of the company, They go now and they add 3 more zeros and commas and maybe 6 more zeros. Next thing you know, you sign a bond for 50 million. Based on accounting practices, where there's a debit, there has to be a credit. When they go in to do the closing, they were supposed to give you a check for $500,000 and the key to your home, and the agreement that you're signing to say you're paying $3,500 or $3,000 a month. That was what's supposed to be returning to you from the proceeds of the bond that you signed. Remember, you signed a bond for 50 million, right? That worth 50 million. So there's no way you should be stuck paying for something for $500,000. So now, and I do teach classes on these things. I know right now it might sound a bit far-fetched, but after you get into the information, I can show you. There's the Bank Act, the Federal Reserve Act, all of these things that talks about these things. That's why everything governed under an act, because you have to understand that the Western Hemisphere is being run under colonial operation. So we're being colonized, so the people do not really have rights. That's why even in Canada you have Charter of Rights and Freedom, and to charter something means that you're renting it, right? So if you're renting something, you can't really get the full benefits of it. We have to also understand that based on the registration of the birth certificate, they put everyone in the system as a business, a corporate entity. John Doe, Jane Doe, the all cap cannot have rights because that's just a piece of paper. It's a fiction. So what I did is I separate myself from the fiction, and now I'm living as a sovereign man, not a fiction. I separated myself. And I'm going to turn your attention also to the Slave Abolition Act of 1833 and the Emancipation Declaration of 1834. Both articles speak about, or documents I should say, speak about slavery being ended, shackles and chain, but in the Emancipation Declaration of 1834, it stated that the slave trade continues. The trading of the instrument. They have the people under what you call financial servitude, right? So that's what it's all about. It's just to enslave the people financially, not physically, but it's the same slavery, because now you're working to earn a living, right? And we all were put on this earth having an experience with the abundance of everything. No one should be short of anything. Earth produced enough for everyone to live abundantly and happy, right? So we have to understand that as well, that we're under a system that is enslaving us, but a lot of us are blinded to it. Financial slavery, which they're about to reset the slavery again to a different form, but I'm not going to go into that tonight, but that's where we're at now. We're at the end of that system, and that's why they're crashing out and implementing more separation on the people now more than ever, because they want to put the people in a state of compliance. When they come with their agenda, even if you know it's wrong, you're still going to take it because you don't think that there is any better, that you can't do any better, right?
So if there is to be this universal system where everybody gets the same amount of money, will house ownership be a thing anyways? Will it be of any value?
No, because you know why?
So we're just gonna need it for shelter?
A home. So the divine principles of life grants one's food, shelter, and clothing. That should not be, there should not be a denial of that. You should have that. That's necessity. You have to have that. That's something that, it's like breathing in and out. That is a must. But they have constructed a system where they want to steal your energy, because it's not about the money that they want, because remember, they got a machine that print that money all day long. It doesn't stop. It's print. It doesn't never stop. So how come people are still suffering? Because it's your energy that they want. So if they want to put you in a state of depression and keep you oppressed. And if you're in a state of depression and oppression, you can never ascend to your higher self. You can't look outside of the box. They want to keep you in that little box. That's why they said you got to think out the box, and knowledge is the key. But in order to gain the knowledge, you have to have time for yourself. This is why the way society is run, nobody have time for themselves because everybody go to work. You can't even raise your own offsprings because the system is raising your own offspring because you got to go to work, put them in daycare, put them in school, and then they're teaching them their own agenda. And they use the jail also to control the man. So they take the man out of the household, put them in jail, and have the woman raising the children by herself. And you know, I'm not saying that women are not capable, but a man is required in the household in order to, especially when you have boys. A man figure have to be around to raise that young man into a man, right? A woman I can't do it, and I'm not even looking to be biased or anything, but it's just unnatural for a woman to raise a boy to become a man of value. And this is why even right now in the time that we're in, a lot of the men like my age or a little bit younger, they're very emotional because they were raised by single mothers household, right? And they haven't learned logics. It's just emotion. If you look at them, they think that they're ready to shoot you because you're looking at me. What are you looking at? Type of situation, right? So, and of course, it's the government operation. They put it in place so that the man could have get into trouble, go to jail, or the men killing themselves. It was all by design.
So will we be able to? Will it matter if you own a home then? If you're on this one universal system then?
No, because truly, the living man or woman can't own anything. You can only control. Your trust supposed to own.
Right.
Your trust supposed to own it, not you. But a lot of people don't know about trust.
Right.
You know, and when I bring up the word trust to people, they say they hear about it, but they only hear like so-called wealthy people speak about it. I'm like, then there's a reason as to why they're healthy. They are or wealthy. Yeah, wealthy people. Yeah, health is wealth. So the thing is, when you have a trust, the trust protects your assets from all liabilities.
Right.
For example, if I don't own something, you can't take it from me. But if I control that trust, technically I still own it, right? Because I'm in control. So we have to look at that from that standpoint, that as living man and woman, living sentiment, we're supposed to be in control of things, not owning things, because we're all the creator having an experience, right? If you know what I mean. So any other questions so far? I know I'm speaking a lot and I go off topic a little bit, but I can go back to.
So in this trust, so you're saying it's better to set up a trust?
No, I'm not saying anything is better than the other. I'm giving information that can be utilized to protect your assets from liabilities or legal actions.
So like a corporation?
No, a corporation, they own the corporation. Remember, you have to register it, and to register something, you're giving away your legal rights to it. So
how would you have this trust protected? In terms of?
So there are different types of trust. So you can set up a private irrevocable trust.
That's not registered. And it's
No, because you understand. This is how they let's go back to the birth certificate. The way that the state owns you is when your mother register that birth certificate. So if you even look into the legal definition of what register mean, is one giving away their legal rights to something that they already own, are in possession of. So now I hereby give you the authority to take legal actions against me because I own this bag, but I am giving you the rights to the bag so you can take me to court anytime to take it away from me. That's what registering mean. So what you want to do is you want to record your trust. So there's two different words. Record it, not register it.
And how would you record it?
So they have the appropriate offices that take care of these. Yeah. But the thing is, I don't want to go too much into the trust because if I go into that now, there might be another question about it, and next thing you know, we spend the whole session speaking about trust. But I wanna give more insight.
So Karen, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, so let's go back to the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what looks like the topic is at hand. What does that process look like? Can you walk us through it briefly? talked about.
So it's not a standard process. Everyone is going to have a different experience.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to have a different experience. So this is a normal process. People delinquent on their mortgage, they get letters from the lawyers. We are the plaintiff representative. This, that, the other, the third. They might send you documentation commanding you to give over the key before nothing goes to court. So you may get all kind of craziness, but once you get a statement of claim, it means now that the matter is in front of the court. So a statement of claim gives you the provision of 20 days to respond, or else they can claim default. So most people lose their home because they don't know what to respond. So, and they would go get a lawyer. The lawyer is going to take their finances as a retainer and then tell them that they can't help them because they can't put together a defense because, they're going to say something such as ignorant as, so what do you expect me to say? You paid the mortgage when you didn't pay? What defense do I have? But they will take your money knowing that they can't do anything and just send you a little bit further into the hole, right? So in this, just put it on vibrate.
What I meant to ask was not the delinquent situation, but your good situation, but you don't want to be under their grasp anymore. What does that process look like?
Yeah, so you can start the process against them in that sense by you commence a claim, but that also can be a challenge as well because the courts are very corrupt. See, so I have to make sure I put that out there first and foremost. The courts are very corrupt, so you're not really going against people that are acting in integrity, as they're sworn out to. They're definitely now serving the corporation and not the people, but their oath say that they're supposed to serve the people. So you have to know your rights, or else they will violate you all day long. But right now I'm having an issue with a few statement of claims because the lawyers, they work with registers at specific court, and the registers will block the filings for no reason when you're filing. Like, say for example, you're going for the judgment and they will have you file it and they will have it sit for a month, and then they tell you that they denied the filing. So like a whole month have passed and nothing, because remember, most of these courts, they close to the public. They tell you that you can't file over the counter, you have to do it online. When you go online and do it, they block you, and sometimes there's no reason. It would say something like other reason, or they would say, the font on the paper is too big or something like that. These are the so I just gotta let you know that. But for defending the claim standpoint, that part we have pretty much in control, defending the claim. But going forward, we're opening some other doors, and we're looking to go to the Supreme Court as well for some of these claims. But what have to happen is we have to be turned down in the lower court before we can go to the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court of Canada, that's the constitutional court that speaks of common law, which is international law. The lower courts are operating based on Admiralty maritime jurisdiction, which is the laws of the water. You can't apply that on the land.
Right.
But once again, I don't want to go to, some of you is your first time being here, so this information is a little bit in depth, so I don't want to go too deep into it.
And in addition to your question as well, it varies too, because it's based on we have the mortgage rate and all those kind of things, so it varies.
So it's an A bank. So you basically,
if it's an A bank, you stand a better chance.
Yes, because most of the A bank, like,
because you're regulated differently.
Like say TD Canada Trust, CIBC, RBC, etc. You do a defense and then you don't even hear from them again. That, like, I've never seen none of those banks even going for summary judgment. Yeah. But anything that has the word trust on it, like these corporations, because if you hear the word trust, so it means that if you put your property in their trust, there have to be some kind of agreement, but you are not the beneficiary. So we have such as home trust, community trust, Olympia trust. Once you hear the word trust, those are the ones that's going to give you a hard time, and they want to go to because the main bank now, they're regulated under the Bank Act, and there's no other layers, but these other corporations, they're in like 3-4 layers
Yeah.
of corporations.
Company within a company
So
kind of stuff.
yeah, so you can't really find who you want to hold accountable because they're like in a blanket of a blanket of a blanket. So it's kind of like,
Wow.
yeah, that's why they give you the full disclosure. Once you have the word trust in it as a corporation, they're stealing your beneficiary right, because if you're putting something in a trust, then there must be some kind of agreement who is the beneficiary. That was not disclosed to you. So once again, that's a deceptive agreement. They deceived you. So once again, full disclosure isn't given, and in any contract or agreement that full disclosure is not given, it rendered to be defective on its face. It's of no force. So you can pull the contract, and I'm gonna give you guys something a little bit different too as well. So when you go in to sign these agreements, right? If you notice, you're the only one signing, because you know why? There might be documentations with 20 pages, 30 pages, etc., depending, and you may see an agent of the bank or of the corporation. You may sit with them, and they have everything already prepared, ready, and highlighted, and now they're skipping through, sign here, sign here. They're not signing anything, but so you're the only one signing. So based on the principles of contract law, both party has to sign point for point in order for that contract to deem lawful. So in other words, you're signing the contract with yourself. At the back of the page, the individual now who is there as the agent for the corporation is going to sign within a box. So a square on the contract. Based on the principles of contract law, when someone signs within a box, it means that they're not a beneficiary or a liability to that agreement, but they're just the witness. So they're saying that they witness you sign that contract. So now, based on my court proceedings, I would summon the CFO or CEO for TD Canada Trust, CIBC, etc., because only them can speak on behalf of the bank. The agent was already not a party to the matter. So now this is why they can't go to trial. They try to wrap things up at summary judgment, which also it's unethical because summary judgment is a preliminary inquiry. There can't be a final outcome in that. So that's what I use against them now when they look to bring it forth. We have to go to trial. When they would never go to trial because they're now going to have to bring all the materials that I'm looking for to bring in front of me.
So at the end of the day, we're going there to say we signed an agreement or a contract and it wasn't lawful?
No, that's not all you're saying. So okay, so for example, you're going to state it that based on the principles of the Bill of Exchange, because that's another act that one should look into, the Bill of Exchange Act. You're providing a Bill of Exchange, which is now considered a bond, a financial instrument. And also the same Bill of Exchange Act, it stated that if the promissory note is not returned within 72 hours, it means that it was accepted. This is why when you get approved for a mortgage, they tell you that you have to come back, no earlier than 72 hours to sign the closing. Because 72 hours, that's when it takes to securitize and put on and accepted by an institution. Once it's accepted, it means now that they already gone to the Treasury on your behalf and then they securitize it, and now the deal is funded. You have to look at it from this standpoint as well. If you look at the transfer deed, upon transfer of the property, full consideration was given. Consideration mean the payment. And it show you the amount. So say for example now, if the property was a 1.5 million, upon the transfer instrument number, and that document is going to show that it was sent over from you. From you, it's going to say it came from you to the seller.
You're the one sign, right?
You're the one sign. So you get. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But
you
this
create
is.
the money.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. So this is what the property. What do you call those places that deal with the property?
Land registry.
The land registry of the municipality. So that's on record at the land registry that the money came from you to the seller. Now, the mortgage company, they come on at a later time with a charge, but you don't see anything breaking down that anything came from them to you. But they came on with a charge, which is a separate instrument number. And that instrument number is also a lien. Your transfer deed is also a lien. Your transfer lien number is going to supersede the charge. So you hold superior.
Great.
Yeah.
Where's the money though?
Okay, so let me go back to it. So once again, we're going to revisit the HJR 192, House Joint Resolution 192. That's bill in Congress. You know,
House resolution.
House Resolution
House
192.
Joint Resolution.
House Joint Resolution 192. My apologies. Or you can just short form it. HJR 192. You know, that's bill of Congress, public policy. That they're suspended the gold and silver as lawful tender, and they're gonna implement the Federal Reserve fiat currency, and that was pledged by the federal governments to discharge their citizens' debts dollar for dollar. See, here are the words that I used: discharge, dollar for dollar. So now, sister, let me get back to that now. If you're gonna do a bankruptcy tomorrow, let's say, for example, you're in debt. Are you indebted and you're going to do a bankruptcy? Who do you go and see? A trustee, right? Where is the trust? You have to have a trust to go and see a trustee, right? So where is the trust? The birth certificate.
You're the trust. Your birth certificate.
Your birth certificate, that's the public trust. Because you know why? When a child is born, if a child weighs 8 pounds at birth, they create that trust account, and they give you the equivalent to 8 pounds of gold, and then they convert it into USD or CAD or whichever currency that there is. They convert it into that. Now, based on the jurisdiction of Canada, 1 troy ounce of gold worth right now as we speak 3,500 Canadian CAD, 1 ounce. So imagine having 8 pounds. I don't even know how to do that math, right? It will break the calculator. Like, it's not, yeah. And imagine that was at birth. So imagine all of these years that it's been compounding. That's where your social insurance number derives from, right? The birth certificate. That's why you have unlimited credit. Remember, there is no money, so it's just a system that built based on credit. You can't have bad credit either, because if you look at the word credit and what it means, bad and credit cannot associate. Good and credit is the same thing. So credit is already something that's good. So they're deceiving you.
Just a quick question. I know we speak about mortgage, but in regards to car loans,
It's the same thing.
The same thing. All these transactions is called the same.
You go to TELUS and you sign for a phone. It's the same thing. Once the moment you sign, that phone was already paid for in full. That's why. That's okay. Look into it. We have to look at the debt and the obligation. So when something is a debt, and then you have an obligation, would you guys say that's the same thing, or it's something different? A debt is the same as an obligation? No, and I'm just
Yeah,
based on your competent mind. Let me see what you all think.
I could be wrong, but I could say clearly, I could say you are obligated to pay the debt that you've acquired. I could be wrong.
No, but within that sentence, you're obligated to pay a debt, right?
Yeah.
Obligation is now a verb. You're obligated to pay a debt. So the debt will be an item, and the verb is now an obligation. Right? In that sentence, you're obligated to pay the debt. So the obligation is an action. It's an
Okay.
action to the item.
From what he's saying, we don't have to pay anything. We have unlimited credit.
Yeah.
So it's just an obligation. It's an action to
Yeah.
the item.
So once you comprehend the laws of contract, you can reserve your rights and don't put yourself into liability. Because if you should go back and read some of these agreements, it is contradicting. But I know a lot of people don't read it because first and foremost, you have to understand legalese, because legalese is commercial English, and it's like they use the same words in English but it means something else. And that's what they use in the court and defeat the people all the time, because you may think you're saying something and you're speaking about something different, but you don't know. So once you comprehend the legal definition of some of these words and comprehend how to reserve your rights to a contract, you get the benefits. If you don't reserve your rights, they're going to steal your benefits and put you in an obligation. Because even for the car loan situation, I have personally seen in fine print, they did not word it in this way, but pretty much I hereby agree to rent my own car. You're renting back your own car. And that's in fine print, but they didn't say it in that exact word. But if I was supposed to word it back, they put it. You're gonna think they're saying something else, right? So that's the benefits of comprehending legalese. And the mortgage, when it's conveyance. So if you look, I want once to pull their deed and look at these terms. You know, conveyance of the mortgage. Charge. Even the charge. When you look at the charge is also giving away your rights to the property. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as register. It's the same meaning.
Yeah. when you break down these mortgage contract, the only thing the charge do is you transfer. You don't even have an agreement per se. All it do is transfer your right to them, basically. And they have their closing lawyer trick you in signing that. So that's what the charge is really, saying that you acknowledge that you're giving them your rights to the property.
That's why when you take a look at your deed, your tenant.
Yeah. So and your land tax statement is going to say that you're a tenant in common, but they told you that you were the owner, right? Yeah. So once again, that's a conflict of interest, right?
So high.
So basically, you find deficiency within the contract immediately. You have to call it out. You have to be able to call foul on the play. If you don't call foul on the play, then there is no referee. So you got to be able to play the game and referee it yourself. If you don't, you can't rely on the lawyers, because the lawyers are a part of the problem. They're the one that's selling you short.
Yeah. And not endorsing the document properly.
Yeah. And remember, even in that predicament, in the closing, the lawyer is also working on your behalf and then working for the bank at the same time. It's a conflict of interest again. Look into this now. When they're looking to take possession of someone's home, they say it's a foreclosure proceeding, but then they would say you already did a closing. So, you know, if a closing was already done, how can you foreclose? Because for means that you're going ahead off. FORE, foreclose. So it means that they're going to have to explain to you how that's possible, because you already thought you did a closing. So there's a lot of things that you can call out within there. Secondly, we talked about the insurance as well. All first mortgages are insured. Second mortgages are the equity from your home, which means that that's your value that you're taking, so they didn't loan you anything.
But they're going to say that they did because they forwarded money to you.
No, they monetize it. They monetize it.
Did you get the money? Ask them. Because if they forwarded money to you,
there
should be a transaction.
In the second mortgage, they do get the money because of refinance. Yeah. However, the equity from your home just got subtracted, and they gave you something back, and they're saying that the loan. Remember, I gave you the example earlier on, like somebody go to Cash Money with a check for $5,000, and then now Cash Money, the principle that Cash Money put in place, they would say that, you know, in order to monetize this check, we have a policy that we apply a 3% monetization fee. So instead of you getting back $5,000 in full, you're going to get $4,700. Do you agree or not? Once you say yes, that they liquidate it, they give you the $4,700, and you go your way, they go their way. That deal is closed. There's no further contingency. But imagine now, you were supposed to do that, and then Cash Money take that check from you, gives you $5,000, and then now they give you a contract to sign saying that you hereby agree to pay them $350 bi-weekly for the next 24 months. Wouldn't you turn around and slap that individual in their face who told you to do that? Look at it the same way as if it's the equity in your home for your mortgage. The equity belongs to you.
Right. So they already gave me my own money to pay for it.
They give you your own money, and then having you paying back your own money.
Sometimes interest only.
There we go.
Interest.
So this is called an unearned interest, and it's an effort to put the people into financial servitude, as they've been doing a good job at it for years. A lot of people would never figure this out, and even when the information is presented, they're too brain fogged to figure it out because they're still too far into the matrix. So, this information, as I stated all the time, it is real, but it's not public knowledge. So I do have ones consult with me, and then they leave with me, and then they get a call a lawyer. Hey, I was just talking to this guy, and he said, and then the lawyer is going to be like, "What? We don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's a sovereign citizen. Like, and even that now, like, I don't declare to be a sovereign citizen or a free man of the land or none of that sort, because all of these things are patent and they have a stigma, and I don't associate myself with that. I operate from an indigenous capacity.
Meaning what?
Yeah.
I'm indigenous to the land. And when I say the land, I'm talking the land of North America. So even the place that corporately known as Jamaica right now, which is a colony of Britain as well, that is part of the adjoining island of North America, anciently known as Turtle Island.
Yes.
India Superior, if you want to go further. So we're the original Indians. That's why they have Aboriginal, $5 Indian. Those are the Mongolian people that they got in place that addicted to crack cocaine and cigarettes and liquor, etc. It's impossible for those individual ancestors to create civilization, because if you notice, it would have been within them to continue that journey, right? If you notice, our people, or for lack of a better word, black people, we're known to work the hardest and we're the best at everything that we do.
Yes, we are.
And they copy everything that we do. So obviously, we're the first to the land. And even if you ask them within their community who was the first, they would say, we are. So what are we doing? How are we not claiming to be indigenous? Why are we settling for the nigger, Christian, colored person, black, etc.? Those are all...
How do you do that?
How do I do that? How do we do that?
How do
You're in
you
the,
do that?
well, y'all are in the right room. This is the first step.
Okay.
So basically, this is how I live my life, and I have two other members of council here with me as well that can testify that this is a lifestyle. It's not just a quick fix. So, yeah.
My new drives without a license as well.
What's that?
My new drives without a license.
No. I don't drive. I travel. I travel.
I got in trouble for that.
No, I don't.
But he doesn't get in trouble for that.
No, I don't use driver's license.
What do you mean?
Okay.
What do I
If you
mean?
were to get
Do
pulled
you drive a
over
car?
by the system.
No.
Right?
No. So this is, see, here we're talking about legalese now, right?
Yes.
So the word driving is a patent word for commercial.
Do you operate a
No, car is also patent
To
for
operate,
commerce
you
and
need a
vehicles.
license to operate something.
Yes.
What do you travel?
I travel.
So you travel in a car?
In a conveyance.
No, in my automobile,
Okay.
my personal conveyance or my private, not personal, private conveyance.
And you don't need a license?
No, because you know why? License is only for people who are using the roadways for profit, for hire. Like you got to be gay.
I understand what you're saying, but how do you get around that?
How do I get around it?
Because the police needs
The
it.
police stop you.
No, they don't need it.
That's what you're able
That's
to
what I'm
talk.
saying.
That's what
there's-
you
there's-
say.
you see,
No.
this is the belief,
Well, they're
right?
giving you a ticket.
Yeah?
No.
It's
No.
a society.
Okay, 1 second. Remember earlier I
I know what you say,
definition?
but in
Yeah.
our society, we know what we said,
Mhm.
but we're functioning as a small segment then, right, of society and the common, what's commonplace, we're doing outside of that, right? What's
Outside of
right,
common practice.
right. So if you're doing that, how do you maneuver on? How do you get away with that? How do you not
get
hold
away.
accountable? I
So
know, I'm just saying, but
so there's private and public.
I understand. No, I know, but how?
That's one thing. When you comprehend the difference.
No, I
it
do
will-
understand what you're saying. It's just
Okay.
that because even though I understand, how does
You
how do
go
you
along
get the-
without being strangled back or
Right.
pulled back.
Yeah, how do you?
Well, that's what we're teaching. I can't explain that to you in one night.
All right,
you're
look at
gonna
it
blow,
this way.
you're gonna blow
Look
your
at it
mind.
this way. You have a thing called inherent right, and those are some right. You got to know those set of right, and those cannot be turned into privilege. Cause a license is a privilege.
Right.
So your inherent right is what once you're on this face of the earth, those are right. That just like I said, food, clothing,
Oh, yeah,
shelter.
those right, but they-
No, you don't have them. You get
we
you think you have them.
We're supposed to have those rights, but they basically took them.
No. That's what we're saying now. It cannot be. You gave it away because it cannot be taken from you.
I gave it away.
Yes.
So all you have to do is take it
By-
back.
Yes.
Because you were a
By-
minor at the time when they give it away.
So how do I take it back?
No, so so this is what I'm saying. Like we can't.
I'm taking my phone.
Right, but how do you? And how do I get it back? So you
Is
took
it
my
is in
phone.
my hand?
Yeah.
So you're gonna just let it go?
Okay,
Come take it
there's
from
no
me.
resistance.
Yes, come take it from me.
And there's no resistance.
No, do it. Do it.
That's what I'm saying. How do you get around that?
I want you to do
So
it. It's right in my hand.
Vibrate here.
It's in my hand.
Exactly. So that's what we're saying. If you don't know your rights, you don't get the benefits of it. So you have
But
to.
it's not that simple. That's what I'm trying
So
to
that's
say.
what we're
It's not
saying.
that
If you
simple.
don't know your rights, you don't
You
get
won't
the
get the
benefits.
benefits.
So you have to
A
learn
matter of
your
fact,
rights.
a matter of fact, it is that simple.
It is
Yeah.
that simple.
If you when you know, it is that simple.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they don't make it that simple.
Because you don't know your rights.
Because you don't know your, and that's what I'm trying. If you
So if
comprehend
I know
both
my rights,
worlds,
so if I know
it
my
won't be
rights,
complicated.
I won't need it. You're saying.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
Remember
No.
when you first started to, you thought it was, oh my God, this is so hard? And
No,
once you got
right.
the hang of it, guess what? Simple.
Suppose I tell you somewhere the law.
It's, you kind of, shake by the second cycle, the third cycle, you're
You
good
need
with
her
what
son.
you
No, but my son
He
is,
drives without a license.
yeah, he's been suspended and he's been driving everything.
And
When
he
the
doesn't
police
he's
stop
been
and get
driving.
him, he gets a ticket all the time.
Because, yes, because he's driving.
He's driving. He's
It goes
driving.
back.
So word
There's
plays.
there's
Word
two
plays.
worlds.
Once you're driving, you will get a ticket. If you're traveling, then it's a different story.
You need a license, and then you're gonna be monitored under the Highway Traffic Act. So if you're driving and you're drinking or you're speeding, you have to pay the consequence. However, if you address it that you're traveling and you know how to articulate yourself
That's
correctly
right.
and present yourself, you may get a fight. However, ultimately, it won't.
have
You
to
can't
back up.
It's
disappear.
all about
There you go.
language and how you communicate with that individual that
And
pulls you
they accept
over.
that. They will
Look,
accept
no,
that.
that's
Alright.
separate.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
It's just a mindset. Okay, so look at it this way. So if you have say for example the charter rights, it have something stating there that if you know your rights, you're able to travel. But if you don't know your rights and you're driving, you're gonna get a ticket. Where you
There you
where you
go.
gonna choose? Because it's actually in the charter rights. So you could go check the charter rights. Check the charter
Alright.
rights and you'll see it's there for you. The provision is there for you. You're just not claiming it. So that's what we're saying. You have
Yeah.
to know your rights and claim your rights, and
Yeah.
then you get your rights.
Let me give
Section 6.
Section 6
7
of the
and
charter.
11.
Yeah.
So you just quote that to them.
No, but
No.
I want
Well,
No, I'm saying.
The constable may have to go on their
constable
phone and look it up too because they don't know.
But I'm saying. So I'll
Write
say
it
for
down,
instance.
6, 7, and 11.
I'm writing it down right here.
Madam, I think you should join the classes because
Yeah.
we won't able to answer the questions.
Yeah.
You won't get it in one night.
And
Join the
all
classes.
the fire hose of information.
Yeah.
You're gonna get way confused. You have to fight every day.
If you're driving, you will get tickets.
No,
They
but
don't get-
yeah, but remember, years of conditioning
No, it's
the
not
mind,
covered.
right? It's not gonna.
So you have to be-
We can't
you have to
recondition it
be,
in one night.
Not one night.
Not one night, not at all. I wouldn't even attempt.
When you
say
do I
traveling.
just take it back like
When you
that?
say travel,
But this is
Yeah,
how
you
the
said
system
it's not traveling.
is
You should
set
be
up, right?
driving. It's
So
traveling.
16-year-old, you say, oh mommy,
He's
I want to get my driver's
No,
No. So truck.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
policy.
Yeah, so MTO, right? Motor, what's it called? Transportation, whatever, the term they have it up. Everyone that holds a driver's license is hereby an agent and employee underneath that section. So they have an MTO Act. That act gives them the right to have the Highway Traffic Act. So imagine there being layers. So the moment you get a driver's license, when one driver's license pays for me to go write a test, I get the card, I'm now an employee. Anyone in this room that possesses that ID is like going work for Walmart and have an employee ID card. So when the police pull you on the side of the road and comes over and says, "Hi, Miss Cherise Thompson, can you please show me your ID card?" That's the employee card under the MTO, because that's where you got that card from. So if he's asking you for driver's license, he's not wrong. If he gives you a ticket, he's not wrong. He's not harassing you. He's not giving you a hard time. He's not a jerk. He's not an asshole. You just decided to break the rule of that employee code. So when you recognize I'm no longer an employee, because it's my inherent right, like he said, I have the right to travel however I deem possible.
Land, air, or water.
But even
I don't want to be an employee on the MTO again.
But even also when you go and you write the G1 test, on the front page it tells you that you were trading your rights in exchange for a privilege.
Yeah. So
at 16,
Wow.
yes,
I remember that.
at 16 years old, I picked up on that, and I
You saw that
had
at 16 years old?
16 years old, and I paused. I paused when I was doing it, and I remember that I skipped class because I was in high school. I skipped class to go to the DMV. I wasn't going to do it, and I skipped class to come here. But at the time I'm using the language. Yeah, you know what? I want to drive, so let me just go and do this. But it stated there on the front that you're the disclaimer that you're giving away your rights in exchange for a privilege.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when they're applying for the G1.
So a better way to look at even your question, so you could simplify it better, right? So one of the strongest word is in law is jurisdiction. So driving car one jurisdiction and traveling car is another jurisdiction. So it's not you're like they're above the law. You're just not in their jurisdiction when you're traveling.
Right.
As an indigenous person?
I do get that part. It's just that I'm saying, how do you get around it?
But I just told you that it's jurisdiction. If you're not.
Jurisdiction, yes, but I understand. Okay, but what I'm trying to process.
So do you understand what jurisdiction means first?
Yes, I do.
What jurisdiction
means
to you?
If you're traveling, jurisdiction is
An area.
Right, like an area, a section of somewhere, right? An area. No?
No. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge.
You see,
right
that's
now.
why we.
Decluttering.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen tonight. It may not even happen for a month.
Yeah.
It's just consistency, logging on, and because it's just the way we were taught. Like, imagine your driver's license is disguised to take away your rights. You have the right to travel.
Mm-hmm.
But they
Look
make
at
it.
your passport. You're right.
Right, but now by getting a driver's license.
Of course, you have the right to travel on land, air, or water.
That was
Freely.
my follow-up question. So we're talking about driver's license, but to travel,
Same
or
thing.
drive, we have a passport.
You don't need that either.
Okay, so how do you
The-
travel
And the passport, it tells you that it's a property of Canada, the
Yeah.
federal government.
Yeah.
So,
And your driver's license, same thing. It tells you that it's a property of Ontario.
yeah, so if you choose to use that.
So me, I can travel with an affidavit. I can travel with an affidavit. So okay. Let me get.
Since September 11, everybody.
No. Everybody will choose to.
All right. So all right.
Everybody will
All right.
choose
I'm
to.
gonna read, sister, the front page. Oh, apologies.
I didn't give them something.
Sorry.
All right. And I quote, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada requests that, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, all those whom it may concern, to allow the bearer The bearer.
So that means it's not you. You're just the bearer for that book.
But she signed as the bearer for that book. So
Because we talked about endorsement earlier. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The bearer. So it means that, okay, so that's not me. That
Yeah.
can't be me. That's a fiction. So now, you can even invoke this, because what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put forth an affidavit to support this, that I hereby declared to be the bearer of this instrument, and pursuant to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, it grants me the provisions to travel freely without hindrance. I can fold my suitcase of crack cocaine and go through anytime in and out. And
So now you guys should look up a word called a launch. You see where a launch?
Having legal right over something.
A launch?
Yeah.
That word.
Huh?
So-
ALLONGE.
Yeah.
Different areas.
So by stating that you're the bearer,
When you look
it's
at
a
that
property
word,
of the federal. It's not
you
you,
will understand when
Guys, see why it's up on the
comprehend
front
when
here?
you don't endorse a document properly.
and you are the bearer. So it's not you. So it's a property of.
The bearer.
And if
Canada.
anything, as long as you agree to that, anything that you do, you're gonna suffer the consequence. Whether if you bring something to the airport or whatever.
Yes, because you're in commerce.
Yes.
You're violating the rules of commerce.
The driver's license, you don't do the MT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, wait, can I just ask this? Let me just ask this question. On the
So,
passport?
Huh?
So, can you have this document, but not have your name in capitals? Or it always
Yes, you
has to be
can.
in
Yes, you can
capitals?
do. It depends. When you fill in the application, it's how you fill it out.
No, because when I filled it out properly. I didn't put my cap.
You didn't put caps.
Yeah.
So this is why an affidavit has to be attached.
Yeah. Because you see, it's
Because
a
it-
system.
Because the affidavit holds more
Again.
weight than that.
Yes.
So, but because they get not to cut you there, brother.
Just explain it.
Same thing again, a launch, Gaza.
A launch?
It's like an extended.
Just Google it or see, and you can look at it.
No, I was just looking at this meaning where it says, in some jurisdiction, there is a mandatory death sentence for murder. So this is a different meaning.
Yeah, mandatory. You hear the word again, mandatory.
Yeah.
So
Mandatory.
mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's mandate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it derives back from man. It's man law. It's not God's law. So once again, that derives back to statutes and codes, and that's why they put you into these system and apply the statutes and the codes against you. Because if you notice, Canada goes by their prosecution system goes by what you call a criminal code. What do you think is a code? Because it's mandate. It's a code. So you have to understand that the scale of law is balanced. So even in these mandates, codes that they put, there's always a positive side and a negative side. They would never teach you the positive side. The lawyers don't know the positive side. They only know the negative side because that's why they always practice in law.
Yeah.
You know, I've come across lawyers who were in their profession 40 years, but they're still practicing law. Because they can never perfect law because they weren't taught law. They taught policies, codes, and statutes. So what I'm operating from here is law. So even if you look at society, they have police. Take away the Y from the policy and you put the E, you get police. E onto it is to enforce. You're enforcing policy, not law. So when they say that they're law enforcement officers, they're committing perjury on their oath because they're not dealing with anything to do with law. It's all policies. Now, bear in mind, policies is also a mandate. You know, in this building, there are policies. When I leave this building, those policies would not apply to me now, would it? Because I'm no longer under the jurisdiction of this policy. Ontario operate based on policy. So by you claiming to be a resident of Ontario, you have to adhere to those policies. Bear in mind also the word resident and reside is for the dead. Only the dead can reside. A living sentiment can't reside. So they're speaking dead language. Because when you identify as the all caps, basically you declare to be dead in the system. You're a dead man or a dead woman because you're saying that you're John Doe or a Jane Doe with the all caps. the all caps can only represent corporation, and a corporation is not living, it's dead. So this is why I talked about you have to separate yourself from the fiction and declare to be the living man.
Hold on 1 second. And that is why you guys ever think about when you do any form of government ID, you cannot smile on it?
Yeah,
I wonder. Even
that's
if
why.
Because you're dead.
Because you're dead, yeah. Dead man can't smile.
Really?
When you go to Service Ontario and you crack a smile, oh
You have
ma'am,
to
you
take
can't
back that
smile.
picture.
You got to take it
You have
over
to
because
retake the picture.
because you're presumed to be
Yeah, and you have to take your glasses off. Why?
you're presumed to be dead.
You ever see dead people in a glass?
But brother, 1 second, you just answered that question with the reason why she writes
Yeah, they
the
said you take your
lowercase,
glasses
and
off.
it came in.
You wear your
the
glasses, so
type
then you go to
Yeah,
take it and
smart.
they take your
They
glasses.
can't
Just
smile.
answer
Because
the
they're dead in the system.
So-
So you have to play the role.
You put it in
That's just
small
an
case,
avatar
right?
picture.
They have to automatically put it in what's it called, larger
Capital.
case to have it in a corporate standpoint, a
Yeah.
corporate standpoint. Then add the disclaimer saying you are a bearer. You
Yeah.
can be saying all caps if you're also a bearer. Those are two different things.
Exactly.
So they have to change your lowercase to a higher case and attach that document to say
Yep.
you are a bearer. So that bearer is telling you you are not that all caps in that piece of paper.
There you go.
Mhm.
So now,
So I support it all, okay?
so now an
Yeah,
affidavit.
all those commercial documents.
So now an affidavit is to be presented along with that when you doing the application that I am John, lowercase in red, hereby declare to be the beneficial owner and the executor of the estate of though.
Don't need this?
Okay, you guys gotta I'll take the apologies. So based on what I was explaining,
I am John.
I am John, lowercase, hereby declared to be the beneficial owner of the estate of Doe John. If you know why they always put your last name at first and put the first name at last, you have to, because that's how they can access your treasury. Because it's the estate they're going to. It's not the fiction. It's not the what do you call it, the given name.
The given name.
Yeah, because remember the last name passed down to you from your father so it's passed down to you. So that's not you. So that's why I say now I hereby declare to be John the living man, the living sentiment, full life, soul, flesh and blood, hereby declare to be the beneficial owner of the estate of Doe John Henry or Doe John, because Henry would have been the middle name, right? If there's a middle name, some people don't have a middle name.
Right.
You know, I hereby invoke my rights in accordance with the Foreign Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs, pursuant to the first page of the birth certificate, I hereby declare to be the bearer of the instrument, but not the instruments itself. So I hereby invoke and reserve all my rights to travel non-commercially within borders without hindrance, accordance to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on behalf of Her Majesty statute.
So
That's the
even-
Queen.
So even if someone has a quote unquote record, they can't go to the States.
You would call a record? The all cap have the record, not you.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, let me show you something. I have my all caps have bench warrant that I purposely did not address. But I'm in those court every day. I'm in the agency that has the bench warrant. I'm dealing with them every day. They know who I am. They know that it's my estate. But
Yes, that's right.
That's crazy.
I purposely did not address the bench warrant because just to show people that I purposely didn't address it. To show that they can't do anything to me because I am not the fiction. They have a warrant for the fiction. You know what a warrant means? They're looking for a missing person. I am not missing.
Yeah, right there.
You know that a warrant is expired after 21 days. A warrant can only be executed within business hours, not within the hours of 9 to 5, by the officers that signed that warrant. It can't be another man pick me up and be like, hey, we pick it. No, you have to be by that. When they pick you up on a warrant, they have to take you immediately to a judge. They can't hold you in confinement or send you to jail to wait to see a judge. They need to bring you to a judge immediately. But once again, if you don't know your rights, you won't get the benefits.
So
doesn't get
this
woken
is
up.
why it's from 9 to 5. It cannot be.
But most of the time they come in when they come at 4 a.m., especially when they're doing the raids, right? 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And those warrants are unendorsed. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Unendorsed, they're not signed.
Yeah.
So the reason for that is because you're innocent
But
until
that's
proven
illegal.
guilty. But
No.
you're innocent until proven guilty. So if they're going to put you in jail, that means they're saying you're guilty before it. That's why they have to carry you straight to a judge.
Exactly.
But if it's
But-
not endorsed, and they do the raid, that's illegal.
It is illegal, but
Yeah.
nobody knows.
Yeah.
But those warrants are unendorsed because remember, in order for a judge to grant a warrant, they have to be beyond reasonable doubt or reasonable articulable suspicion that whatever statement the constables or the detective bring looking to get the warrant, that it's true. They have to have beyond reasonable doubt. Then that's when they can issue the warrant. But most of these police constables and agencies, they're violating their code of conduct. They don't know how to even operate within the ethics of the oath that they're sworn to uphold as public servants. They're public servants. So even the other day I have I wouldn't say it's an incident because it wasn't, but I went to the court, and the moment I got to the court, the so-called court officers, the bailiffs, started following me. 3 of them following me. Chief Michael, there's no recording here. We were told that when it comes, we have to escort you to the building to make sure that you're not recorded. And I said, I reserve my rights to record because you know why? If your registers were acting in honor and in ethics to their oath, I wouldn't have to be recorded. It is my right, if I feel like my rights are being violated and I want to make a claim at a competent court venue, I have to bring evidence. Hearsay evidence is not admissible. So I reserve my rights. And I said, as officers of the court and peace officers, you guys are here to keep the peace. The peace hasn't been broken. This is an unwanted escort. I did not require it. So you guys get away from me. You guys are putting out a stigma that I don't want. You guys are defaming my character by escorting me through the court. I don't want that attention to myself.
And what did you do?
I respect the honor, but not now.
Yep. Yep.
So they moved away?
No, they didn't move that way right away. One of them still coming up, and I said, don't come closer, get away. Because you know they always want to come like they want to grab you and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you touch me, I charge you for assault because you're a civilian in uniform. You don't even have a badge number. You're not protected under the agency. I will sue you. I'll make sure that you do jail time for assault. Private prosecution. Because a lot of people don't know that you can go to the justice of the peace and make a claim against these guys privately, criminal claim. That does not protect them in their corporate capacity. So when I stated that now, they start taking it away.
But any individual can do that?
Huh?
Any individual can do that if
you know your rights.
So just once again, I say you have to know your rights. So because I know my rights, a lot of people know how many people that come out of that situation and not getting thrown out of the court or submit to them following them around and
Crazy.
yeah. I'm like, no, you guys are not following me around. You're defaming my character. You're making people looking at me a certain ways right now. And I'm not here doing anything unlawful. And I reserve the rights to record. And here they'll say, no, oh well, sir, it's a private building. But I said, but that would be incompatible with your oath as a peace officer because you're here to serve the public.
Yeah.
And the court register is here to serve the public. So how could it be a private building?
Yeah.
And then now, Mr. Next man, I walk in and say, how come this guy's not being checked for his identification of membership? Because it seems like it's a public building to me because anybody can just walk in.
Yeah.
I didn't require a special invite.
Wow.
Makes sense. Yep.
It's not Costco.
Exactly.
That's right.
Anybody can walk in and out whenever they want. And as a matter of fact, I can even walk and go sit in the body of any court and listen in as an observer. It's a public court. So these judges have this thing where they like to say it's their court as well. I'm there for them with that because if it's your court, then I don't belong. It's a people's court. But I just wanted to share that information there to show that you have to know your rights or else you won't get the benefits. So, I've been in situation where other people would have been arrested and gone to jail. 'Cause even they were trying to charge me for arsoning because there was an alleged fire that they can't prove that I was the one that caused the fire, but just because I was at the scene, they're trying to pin it on me, and it ended up that I have them pretty much held up for 3 hours until they get their sergeant and scene. They pack it up and left. But they were already reading me rights and everything. I have the right and I can speak to sergeant when I go to the station. And I'm like, buddy, I ain't going to no station. I didn't consent to that. Everything is by consent. When they come and they tell you that,
You're under arrest.
Miss or sir, you're under arrest. You have the rights to remain silent. Do you understand? Do you know what understand mean in legalese?
You comprehend?
Do you consent? That's the first consent. That's how they can take you to the station. But I wouldn't urge ones to go do that unless you know the information, because they will violate you, because they might give you a rebuttal and you don't know what to say.
You're thinking about comprehending, they have to give you consent and you're going to say yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
No.
understand.
The way you give consent. That's what it is.
Yeah.
When you call them officer, that's why everything is constable or sergeant. Because officer also is the highest level of law. So when you refer to them as constables, you're saying officer, you give them authority over you because you now put them at the highest level of law.
So in that case, they said, do you understand? What do you say?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do not consent. Because I know what it means. So I'm going to say it for what it is. I do not consent. And they were like, oh, well, we don't require your consent. I said, I believe your boss does, because if I don't sign that bond, it's not tradable. And even like 2.5 years ago, when I was in a little situation with them, obviously before I was this advanced, I know not to sign anything, and they couldn't go forward. So I went back into my knowledge book. That's the only book, and I endorsed it, and I reserved the rights. They appointed me. They wanted to hold me on no bail. They appointed a lawyer for me. They went and hired a lawyer for me to give me the bail, just because they did not want me to go to the court. So the lawyer now come and get the consent, because what I put on there, they couldn't have done anything with it, and because I didn't want to stay in confinement to deal with them, I just did it, came out, and got rid of the case. So
you didn't sign the paperwork?
No, because now they appoint the lawyer to talk to me and whatever, and the lawyer, because they're telling me that first and foremost that for me to get bail, I'm gonna need this and I'm gonna need that, and then all of a sudden now they get a lawyer, and the lawyer tell me that they will just deal with it. So I even asked the lawyer, who hired you? but that's how it is when you know because the lawyer has to get you back into contract with them. So that's what the lawyer came to do. But at my convenience, so they bring convenience. So yeah, but I still destroy the bond.
Are you planning on writing a book?
I don't have time to write a book. I have to tear down this colonial system and rebuild. But I guess the others can.
The book is the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's concurrent. It's an 11. You have to be in the moment.
All who come to the nation can give their chapter.
Their testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah, but long after the nation members are no longer.
No, it's
well, the nation continues.
I'm sorry.
Our offsprings are going to be the nation, right?
Well,
it's continuous.
So you guys didn't let me finish. Long after, when our offspring are in the position to deal with this, and you're no longer there, what are they going to have to refer to?
Just like we're here standing on our ancestors. That's the same thing.
I'm talking about.
She wants something tangible.
She wants something tangible.
I'm with it.
She looks. She appears. That's what she does.
What?
This is your field. That's your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So
if you talk about the knowledge, it's the reason why it's called a nation. All of us at some point should get to this level or higher.
So
He set the path for us.
So we're going to pass the knowledge on to our offsprings, because with the knowledge I was able to do what I'm doing. And bear in mind, I am still learning as I go ahead, because we haven't learn anything about life in these John D. Rockefeller schooling system. It was just how to be a slave. That's all they taught you, how to be a slave.
No one knows this. No one knows that.
Can I ask a
Rockefeller-
question? Is this
Absolutely.
your full-time job, doing, this is what you're doing for dedicating years?
Well, I wouldn't agree to have a job, but I occupied myself with this. Not just this, but I commit myself to. I teach classes. I appear in criminal matters for individual, and I assist home owners. I assist other people who are in the LTB, landlord tenant board as well. So I dedicate my time to this.
More like a
I
purpose.
spend a lot of time as well doing paperwork, because in court you have to file documents. I have to do lots of paperwork. So it definitely, if I would say I have another job outside of this, then what I'm saying here would have been nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you're not a lawyer, but you could do criminal cases? That's what you're saying here?
Yeah, well, because no, I'm not a representative. I'm an advocate.
Oh.
So the word representative also is patent and reserved for licensees, bar members. So if I use that in the court, then they will strike me down. So I'm attending the court as an indigenous man, which we do have the rights pursuant to the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, and that's the same treaty that transgender rights are using as well. There are people that are doing plastic surgery and turning themselves into wolves and all this. You have the rights to identify. So if I go into the body of the court and I identify as counsel, if I'm presenting on your behalf, as long as you're comfortable with me doing that, there nobody can discriminate against that.
Oh, they tried with you many times.
Many times, but also that is incompatible with your oath,
Right.
right? Because if I was supposed to go in there in the frame of a man and present myself as a woman, it would have been accepted at first presentment, no pushback.
Imagine that.
My right supersedes trans rights. I have inherent rights. My ancestors fought on this land, their blood and tears still on this. I would never sit down and see all this foolishness happening with what I know and don't do something about it, right?
Right.
A lot of people, look at it that it's a big step to take. It takes a lot of courage, but, I'm doing a divine duty that I was assigned to do by soul contract, right? If I'm not doing this, then I would be failing my mission. We all have a purpose in this life, and it's not to work and pay bills.
When did you figure out this was your mission?
Huh?
When did you figure out this was your
Well, I
mission?
came out the womb knowing something was wrong. Nothing would make sense to me. Like I never adhere to any rules or policy. I don't have a driver's license since 2011. I was 20 years old. I've got my license for like 2 years, and obviously, the community that I grew up in, I got into high-end cars at a young age, and I had insurance. The car was clean, but for some reason, I would get pulled over, and the next thing I know, my car would be rammed. Even my door panel, everything is taken off because they were searching for drugs. And I was even a known drug dealer, but they're just looking at how are you driving this car type of situation. Not knowing at the time that I shouldn't be driving, I should be traveling. So they were just violating, my rights. But I'm the type of individual, if I don't like something, I do something about it. So I started looking into law. And of course, I did a law clerk course in their system, which did not teach me anything about this. It's all about policy, codes, and statutes. So I was doing that while I was doing other things. I was in school part-time for that. And I was able to learn the law a little bit, articulate myself, but it would not take me over the top. And I did that just to learn my rights, because, as I stated, I was harassed a lot. And the brother there, he grew up in the same neighborhood. He can attest to that. Being an innocent 16 years old, walking home from school, many times I was thrown onto the ground, placed into handcuffs, and even brought to 31 Division, only to them, oh yeah, he has no record, let him go. He has no warrants, let him go. And I could have been home doing my homework. So with this type of situation now, it's gonna make you or break you. And a lot of brothers, or I would say my brothers who have gone through that, they're now in the penitentiary and they're not coming back, and some of them are 6 feet under. So the system was just put in place to oppress the people and keep the people in a state of stagnancy. So it's a good thing I learned to fight with the pen and not the sword. I'm capable of fighting with the sword, but something within me was telling me that's not the right way. That's not the way. Yeah. So with that, I was pulled towards learning law. When they came out with the pandemic, which is the COVID, I got further into the information because I told myself at no cause I'm taking a vaccine. They're going to have to vaccinate me dead. And by looking into that to protect myself in quick successions, I was helping people to save their jobs. I realize now that I look into the mortgage situation, I'm like, well, hold on, wait a minute. It's just a whole can of worm keep opening. But bear in mind, for that to happen, there was a little bit of hardship that came my way because before the awakening, there's always going to be a storm before the calm, right? So a storm came my way, and I decided that I'm going to look further into the information. But the information was presented to me before, but not on this level. I pretty much paved this way. Even the ones who have presented the information to me are looking at me now for guidance. The other day I was talking to Marlon as well, and I told him that the first time I saw someone, stand on their sovereignty was I was incarcerated at the West Detention, and I went to court for the bail hearing, and the Rasta came out the box and be like, I man not stand up in no box, me not put on no Babylon thing, and me no consent. And I'm here say, hold on, how come they didn't arrest him and show him? I'm like, if I say something like that, these guys would have like shown me back in the hole, like. So I'm looking at it like, this doesn't make any sense, but it happened that he came out. He actually came out. He didn't even. Nobody came to bail him. He got out because all he was saying that he did not consent, and I got put back into the hole inside, and he get to hear what he was gone. I ran into him like a couple of months after outside, and I took his number, and he was showing me a few things. The other day I ran back into him, and he was bragging around his friends, telling them how proud he is of me because he was the first one that shows me the information. And obviously, it seemed like I had a viral TikTok moment there, so. He's looking at him like, yeah man, I'm me teach him, you see? Yeah. So he got a proud moment there, and even himself now he have rejoined my class, looking to advance his knowledge because he was that advanced to walk out, but he does not. It wasn't from an indigenous standpoint. He didn't know of the War of 1812 and Ora Madante, Simcoe County, where the ancestors lived. He didn't know anything about that. So now he's looking at. So now you're coming and you're teaching me now. I taught you and you're teaching me. So you see, that's what I was talking about.
Teach on.
So what are our next steps, or the first steps? What do we need to do?
First step?
Next steps, yeah. So we're getting some initial knowledge. What are the next steps? Because obviously you're just opening eyes. And
Well, are you interested in the knowledge?
That's why we're here.
Oh yeah. No. The reason why I'm asking because some people interested in getting rid of their mortgage and not the knowledge. So that's why I'm asking. It's a serious question. So.
Oh, I answered seriously.
So you're interested in knowledge, all right? So I will add you to my WhatsApp group, and whoever else are also. And if you're looking to get the service, you can speak to Angie about that. And you can, for those who want to be added to the group, give Angie the list of the phone number, and I will insert you into the group as well. Yeah, Mama Angie's patent. All rights reserved.
So, if someone holds a mortgage and they're doing fine, like Karen, does Karen have to not pay for 3 months? Is that an easier start than going in on the premise of, okay, I just don't want my mortgage any longer?
No, you're not going to say that. You're not going to say,
to
yeah. No, so either way,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
because filing the claim against them, there can be challenges and pushback. So you may have a judgment and you can't get it because the registers and the lawyers are working together. So when they commence the claim, at least I have a firmer leg to stand on that, because I'm not being blatantly blocked in that sense when it comes to filing documents. Even though they try, I know how to still get it done. But when it comes to bringing the claim forth and then they say you have to do it online, you go online and you do it. Then they have it sit for a month or 2 weeks, for lack of better words, before saying anything to you, and then they message you an email, oh, your filing was denied. And okay, why was it? They not even give you a reason. And then now remember, because the courts are closed to the public, these registrars, they're virtual registrars, you can't see them, because if I'm at the window, you can't just tell me that my filing was denied. I want to know why, and it have to be based on ethics of law and rules of civil procedure, and they will tell you that something that has no merit to do with the case, like they're denying you, for example, it was supposed to say affidavit, and this did not say an affidavit, but if you read it, it's saying it's exactly an affidavit, but the heading did not state an affidavit. So based on a procedure, it's taking precedence over common sense. But even when you follow the proper procedure, they will come up with some foolishness. I'm still waiting for them to say it. The font is not what we usually, like some craziness like that. So that's why I say that we can still do it, but defending the claim, that's where it's more efficient that way, because they can't stop you from filing when it comes to these things, right? But when you bring in the claim, when you get in the judgment, they don't want, if you get a judgment against them, it becomes like a case law. So the court, they want to shut you down because they want able to continue the fraud. But you have the rights to defend the matter. So when you're defending the matter, they can't blatantly block you from defending your matter. Even though I posted a video yesterday where I was being blatantly blocked, but once again, I know what to do with that, right? In that sense.
So it's better to be or not to be in a delinquent situation, so you pay and still put out.
No. So if you're gonna put the claim in, you're not gonna pay either, because remember, it takes 20 days for the claim to mature, for them to respond or not. But bear in mind now, as I said, you may get the default judgment, but getting the judgment is another thing. It's going to be like pulling teeth, because they're going to at this Article 1 court, which is the lowest level of court, the anterior superior court, they're very fraudulent in these venues. But if you stop paying and you're delinquent, and then they start engaging you, I can also take the defenses and that as well.
I would just think if you're able to pay, continue to pay and continue your course, and once you get your judgment, then you stop paying, because there's no reason to pay that.
So that's why he's saying they're not going to give you a judgment per se. And usually the process for them to is 90 days, right? Which is 3 months. So it's your choice if you want to continue to pay while the process is going on. You could make that decision, but if you don't want to pay, it's not a problem either, right?
However, wouldn't that defeat the purpose though if you're challenging something?
Exactly.
No, because of the window.
Exactly. Good point.
Because of the window, right?
Yeah.
Because of the 90 days window, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's if you choose. Because some people, that's like playing it safe for some
I'll
people.
continue.
Yeah.
If I'm in delinquent situation, then I don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This issue would rather play it safe.
Right.
But what happens? You're not gonna get more in your situation. You might not get a judgment, but what will happen? You won't find them coming at you like paperwork wise.
Because you know why? The matter is in court. So after the 20 days pass and they don't, whether they respond or not, you don't have to pay again.
Yeah.
Because the matter is in court now. It's in court, so you're not. It's been disputed. Yes, so you don't have to.
Being disputed, you don't have to pay.
Yeah, don't have to pay because you have
it's like you're saying you're right and you're wrong at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would have to, Karen, you would have to not pay. Just stop paying. Do the paperwork.
Yeah, because you continue to pay.
Support your claim.
Support your claim.
Because
you're saying you don't want to do this.
if you continue to pay too, then they're just gonna turn a blind eye to the paperwork.
Exactly.
And be like, but we're still getting what we want, right?
claim.
So get the statement to claim, and then once you get the statement to claim, then you
Yeah.
Stop there.
Yeah.
Because it's been disputed at that point.
Yeah.
So if they come to your house a few times and they don't get you, what?
Them who?
Say they come in to serve you, the courier company. They come in to
The
serve
process
you.
servers?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They come, and you don't answer the door. How many-
Well, it means if they didn't put it in your hand, you weren't served, right?
Right. So how long can you hold them off?
As long as you can. The proceeding can't start unless you were served.
Because that's what my agent told me.
But they
They've
have
come
a-
3 times already.
And Gina, we have that same issue with Anthony Jr.
Oh, yeah.
The CMI is trying to serve,
Yeah.
and they can't be served. So they decided to reach out to the lawyer that we're supposed to deal with and asking the lawyer to
Serve.
collect the paper on behalf of the client.
But yeah,
And
but
the lawyer's like, no.
yeah, because no, that means he's not retained.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not retained. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not desperate to call the lawyer and say, collect it on behalf of the client.
I told Chelsea, save your PP.
Yeah, she's holding them off.
Yeah.
Don't they sometimes mail it to you or just leave it on the door and after a certain time it's considered served?
Say it again.
No.
Yeah. they
There's
have-
That's different. It's
according to
only-
the rules of civil procedure, there's a specific way it have to be done.
Yeah.
But they'll try that because they get away with it. But
They will try to leave it with your neighbors and have your neighbors pass it to you and say you were served.
But it's up to you. If you don't rebut that, it will stand, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't rebut it and go to court.
But you
then
have
it's
to
in
sign
interest.
for it
So that's
yourself.
different than
No, but
someone
no,
with-
but remember the process. Remember, they're not using Canada Post as the postmaster general third-party witness. They're using the process servers now that works for the company, that works for the law firm. So remember, it's a conflict of interest as well because the process server is going to swear an affidavit in favor of his employer. So it's a conflict of interest. So those men are not even supposed to be serving you, but they will leave it with your neighbor and said you were served. And then when you come with your neighbors, hey, I got this. So I'm saying this. Don't accept anything the neighbor. Hey, are your process? No, I'm not. Take it back. I'm not taking anything from you.
And you wouldn't, you wouldn't find out till they do that
Exactly.
in court.
Yeah.
When the
Exactly. Exactly.
Or you, Angela, who wants to know? And before I close the door, they throw it in. And it burnt me because it burnt me. Oh my goodness, yeah.
So there's
it's
true-
food
there's
in
true
my
in the-
house.
I heard about that.
It's
I heard that
right
they can.
in the
But
door.
do they have pictures? If you don't sign,
All
do they
the
have
time.
pictures to know that it's you? Like
No.
does
No,
the
they don't
mortgage-
know.
But
Does
they
the
don't
mortgage
know
company
about
give
the,
this courier? Because you know
surveillance.
the mortgage company have your
Yeah.
license and
Yeah.
everything.
No.
So do they give them?
No.
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 But
So
it's,
they're
So
serving.
they come to the door. How did they know? Yeah, open the door.
It's wrongful
Don't hear
practice, right? So that's what he said, the conflict of interest.
yeah.
So now the process server is going to go sign an affidavit, and an affidavit is a sworn statement. If it's in challenge, it stands. So if my truth is I'm blue, if I say I'm blue and nobody else challenges this, it stands. So he works for me, I'm the lawyer. I send him and I say, brother, go send this to Sister Dorothy, right? He comes to the door, he come 3 times, knock, 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 you're not there. Knock on the neighbor, you're not there.
Yeah.
Man, I've been traveling from Markham to Brampton 5 times now.
Yeah.
He's stressed. I'm not getting paid that much to
Right.
sit in traffic. So now he just leaves it there, gives it to the neighbor, right? Or he won't even give it to you. And then he goes to the office and says, yeah, boss, I got it this time. Okay, Tommy, what time was it? Who answered the door? And you make up something and said, I left it, I saw her, she opened the door, or, or somebody answered, and anyone actually in the house, they actually can receive it for you. So a family member can receive it for you. And
So
that's
they don't
okay.
have to have your signature?
Yes, they don't.
They don't. If somebody receive it on your
So
behalf.
that's
you
him
know.
as an employee, he doesn't need to have a signature, but if they went by law as postmaster, where they serve it to the mail, you would have to go to the postal office with that slip and sign for it. Right? But since you're using their employee, you're not using the actual rule of law, but doing common practice. Once again.
So how many times? What if they keep coming to the house and you're not
Let them
answering?
come 100
Yeah,
times.
100 times. But then that's where the conflict of interest comes because he's an employee, and I'm like, yo, Tommy, what are you doing? I keep paying you 2 months. You still haven't served Sister Angie, right? And out of stress, he's getting paid $18 an hour to drive from Markham to Brampton back and forth every day. No, you just say I did it, and then they'll go and then pot people's pocket, slip something here, and then claim they gave it to you, but you never received it.
I want to tell you that
but-
we found out that on the weekend that your house is being surveyed. Your house is under surveillance right now. So the sheriff. We were talking to a friend who's a sheriff, and that's what they do. They watch your house, see what time the light goes off at nighttime, who's coming out of the house. They take pictures. And they do this for the bank, and they do this for months, so that they can have an idea of what's actually happening in this household, right? So they already know what's going on right now, but you just can't catch it yet.
Yeah.
But even that alone is out of their capacity. They shouldn't be in that charge. Like, they shouldn't be paying them to do any private investigation. And take
No,
pictures
because
of your
some
house.
asked 3 times and I'm there and I didn't answer. But it's funny, like Friday I could see on my camera that somebody parked in my driveway and it wasn't that guy. I know the guy who keep coming, but that person that parked in my
Sometimes they
driveway.
switch it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I figure, but he didn't come out. So he was just in the driveway and I see him fiddling with paper, so maybe he's watching, yeah. And then,
Yeah, I was
that
just
was-
about to say, should I let up the Rottweiler?
right? I took a picture, but I was upstairs, so from the camera, but I can't see anything, just the van, right? Because it's somebody else. But then, the next day, I kind of glimpsed, but I'm not sure if it's the same van at the front of the house, so I figure somebody's probably watching. No, and it's not that. Very first.
Oh, you came to the right place.
Call the police. Call them and say, a man on my property, I don't know him. And you don't
And
have
I'm
to
scared.
speak to police when they come to your door neither. Be like, hey, there's somebody on my property, I don't know him, he keeps coming by. And, out of fear, I want you guys to check him out. And I don't want the police to come to my door to speak to me that, whatever. If, let's say he has a weapon, he can shoot from that distance. So just send somebody to kick him off my property. Tell the officer not to come and knock on the door and speak to me. I don't want nothing for
I'm getting scared now because I'm like, okay, maybe I should answer when they come.
No.
Coming
Fear.
Yeah.
No, because I don't know who this person that drove it in the driveway and was there like for
But-
10 minutes,
but
fiddling papers.
You don't know
So,
should give you more not to
so
answer.
that should be more not to
Not
answer.
him, not
Exactly.
him. I'm
Anybody.
talking the courier guy now that keeps coming, that I've seen there, the same guy
Yeah.
on the camera for the last 3 different times.
So consent is
But we know
contract,
why
right?
they're
If they don't get it, then
right.
you don't have a contract, you're good. So the longer you can stay away, the better for you, right? So even when they come and they leave the documents, it's because you consent to it after, because
He just
After
keeping
they
something
leave
on
it-
the door like, call me,
yeah,
you know, this is
yeah,
the
I
phone
know.
number.
But I'm saying like when they leave the packages and then when you take it and you realize it's court and then you show up, that's consent, right? So if they never serve you, or you take the package if you know what it is and return to sender, you didn't
Yeah.
consent.
Yeah. Return to sender.
Return
That
to
one is
sender.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when
That
they
means that you're not
start-
served.
Yeah, that means that you're not served.
And they
Can,
can't
you come and seat at the door, return to
Yes.
sender.
They'll go get a small
You don't
envelope,
consent to that.
fold the
And leave it?
claim and put it in a smaller envelope because usually it comes in a bigger envelope. So you're like, oh, what is this one? Mine is not gonna think
Yeah.
of that. And then you pick it up, open it, oh crap.
Yeah, I can
Here
see him
comes
with
the
the
phone.
manila envelope, right? But he leaves a little note on the door. This
So-
is my number. Call me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
That's what he
sure.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just leaves a little note for me to.
And said to call, you
Yeah,
know.
and he
you know
left
what?
a job number. He
Right,
said,
let's
this
say you
is-
have a boyfriend.
and then he said, quote this job number. Then he calls the house phone. Then he calls, I don't have an answering machine. Then he calls my cell. So he texts me and then he left me a message. Please call so and so regarding.
They'll call you 3 times a day.
Hmm?
They'll call you 3 times a day. Yeah.
So I said, okay,
You
because
don't
I
have
saw
to-
that van and I don't know, and I glimpsed another time. I said, okay, if I see him come to the door on Monday, I'm gonna open and take the paper.
No.
That's the statements of claim he's doing. I don't know.
Yes, he's trying
More
to serve
likely.
you.
That's a process server.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have no business with him.
Yeah, the best thing to do with that is RTS it, because when you RTS it,
Return to
it
sender.
gives the post that back the jurisdiction, so the postmaster general.
But she's not using it. It's not the
No,
post.
it's not the post,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
courier
process
company. It's a courier company.
It's a process server.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a process that I.
Just keep on ignoring them.
Yeah, but you gotta-
Yeah, ignore them as long as you
So,
can.
yeah, if it's just them privately,
So if I keep ignoring as long as I can, I stay in the house and they.
Well,
they're
not
not
start
coming to
again,
take me
not in the
out.
But
comments.
whose house is it?
Until
They can't come and check them without you know.
Oh my gosh.
the hammer.
It's in the fear.
Good.
It's your house. You have the deed. You need to pull the deed for your house. I think.
But they sent me, you know, what I owe, or they're not gonna take anything else, or pay this, you know, to be, you know, catch up to, so I can catch up. Huh? No, they send the whatever I owe, and they said if you pay by this date, we won't go in your account, just pay this, and they said we'll send the statement of claim July 15. They even gave me the date, but I haven't, and they said statement of claim was sent to you July 15. I've yet to receive because that's what they're trying to give to me now.
Mhm.
But on the paper that they send me, the balance that I owe, it says the statement of claim was sent to you on July 15th.
Is this the first lender or second lender?
What?
Second lender or first lender?
First one.
Is that
Yeah,
first
one
mortgage?
mortgage, yeah, that's
First mortgage?
Yeah.
Which company is that?
It's home trust.
Oh gosh. We talked about the trust, right? Anything to the trust? Yeah.
For her when I'm done, yeah, it was home
So
trust.
who's sending the document? Golden? Golden Lion?
Golden WLG.
Golden,
Yeah, it has
yes.
to be Golden. Yeah,
Yeah, it's golden, you know?
yeah, Golden. Yeah.
We know.
I know all of them.
Yeah, it's golden.
I'm like Golden co-workers.
It's them, but it's office from Burlington.
Yeah.
No, Hamilton.
Hamilton.
It's
There's no
Hamilton?
office in Burlington.
It's Burlington?
It's Hamilton.
Okay.
Amanda Jackson, right? Or Amanda
Must be.
McCannis.
Yeah.
Which one of them? Which one of them?
Maybe it's Amanda.
Amanda Jackson. Yeah.
So yeah, it's golden, yeah.
But even with the trust thing the brother was speaking about, right?
Yeah.
How it has to go under a trust for it to be securitized, the agreement. So when I showed you the sister's passport, right? She signed and it says endorsement. That's a blank endorsement. She didn't fully perform in that. She didn't satisfy the obligation. So that's why they're coming for the debt. So the reason the trust is in it, those top 5, RBC, CIBC, TD, and those guys, when you sign it, they transfer it into a trust. The trust is the only one that can securitize it and go to the discount window and have the money from the treasury, right? So those top 5, they're going to play by the rules. But these other trusts, like we say, y'all can create trusts yourself. Them, they take it, send it to the discount window, have it securitized, transfer the money back to the trust, right? And add a couple of zeros like the brother said. So they no longer have the actual
Instrument.
Yeah.
the financial instrument, right? So they don't want to go to trial because they can't prove the financial instrument. They don't want to go to trial because they don't hold the ledger, right? They've sold it already.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're at a stop point. It's only trusts that can actually go to the discount window and get the money from the treasury.
There you go.
So they're at a landing point. TD will not open the door to show what the trust company is, because if then we're all going to sue that trust company. But these guys, their trust is open. That's why they show you whatever trust it is. But they're stuck. It's only trust could go to that discount window. So
Yeah.
they don't have your contract no more, that agreement no more. So
Yeah, it's been transferred.
it has been transferred, it's been
Yeah.
securitized, and that's by the books. It has to go through a trust in order for it to be securitized at a discount window.
So in other words, they're saying that
Yeah.
they need the house in order to get their so-called money, or else there's no insurance.
No, they've already got everything,
Okay.
right? So you signed it, right? And then they what's it called, as a blank endorsement, and they did the whole performance on it by stamping it, and then that stamp was a community trust. So say $500,000 at the full endorsement, when you actually properly endorse it, they're gonna stamp it, and it would say, let's say, 1234 Ontario Inc. of 08, which is operating as Home Trust, trying to buy, and the CFO would sign it, and then they'll put the trust bank in the financial statement and everything attached to it, and they'll go to the transfer window and say, hey, Sister Angie Smith gave us an instrument. She did a blank endorsement by just signature. They stamped it and filled the remainder that she was ignorant to, and that could only be performed by a trust. So Home Trust did her full endorsement, took it in Treasury window, and took the $500,000 instead of $500,000. Came back and said, Sister Angie has fully paid it. That's how he explained it in the transfer.
Yeah, the deed transfer, yeah.
The deed transfer saying Sister Angie. It didn't say Home Trust. So Sister Angie's black endorsement was fully done, but the $500,000 should have been back in her account, and also paid for. So if she fully endorsed it, she should have had the house paid off and also got $500,000 in her bank account on top of it. And the collateral was actually that endorsement, which she didn't do it properly. Home Trust did it properly.
Wow.
So, with that being said, can someone who's buying a house now endorse it properly?
You have to have a
get that
trust.
money?
You have to have a trust.
Oh, okay, but that answers my question. So I'm
Yeah,
saying that
yeah.
because we know this now. This is in the after the fact. So someone here could purchase a home knowing this fact now and set it up in such a way that they're not endorsing blankly.
Yeah.
Or having
So-
someone else do it on their behalf. You do it yourself and get that.
So when you're doing a purchase to trust, it's a different proceeding. So no one is asking you for proof of employment or none of that crazy stuff. It's just a straightforward scenario, right?
When you what, sir?
When you're acquiring that property to a trust, because you're not really buying, you're acquiring to a trust. The process is different than when you're doing it like from a personal, personal standpoint.
Okay.
So it eliminates all of these verification processes because the funds is already there. It's through trust.
Right.
But you have to also know how to access those funds.
So that's a different step now.
But we're going to talk about that. You're going to come to the classes. We're going to talk about that because, as I
Is it
stated,
via Zoom or in person?
we do via Zoom Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Sunday now as well for beginners. Which I'm not a part of that class. I have others who are teaching that class.
Is that you, Chris?
No.
I'm an assistant. That's a different sister group.
Okay, one more question. In regards to like a car loan, if you're delinquent or you want to get a car, can you help with that?
Yeah.
Okay, how does that? What are the steps and how do we do that?
Let's come to class.
No, I can give him a quick. I can give him a quick
Karen,
insight.
don't leave it. I have to ask you a question. No.
So you have to understand as well that all of these car loans are insured as well, and it's the same thing. You already signed an instrument that was securitized and monetized. So you're supposed to get, say for example, say the car value at $40,000, and that's what you signed the bill of sale for. After the instrument is monetized, they're supposed to have a check for you for $40,000 and the key.
And the car?
Just got a key.
That's the key. The key. Yeah. Because the debt was already satisfied in full. The same way that the brother break it down on the mortgage is the same thing. Now, when they come and repossess the car, they're not going through any court proceedings with that now, remember? The bailiff is a third-party collection agency. They work for a third-party collection agency. Because that's what the bailiff companies are. They're third-party collectors. Now, bear in mind now, that same loan is insured as well. Say TD gave you a car note for 50 grand. They insured it. And that stated that if you can't make the payment for whatever reason, they collect. So after 90 days, if you're delinquent, that's when that bond is mature, they can collect the insurance. Now, that's when the repossession process would start. You'd have bailiffs start engaging with you now, wanted to pick up the conveyance.
Yeah.
What they have is a PPSA, the bailiff company. They register a PPSA. The PPSA stands for Personal Property and Security Act. It's a form of a lien. It's a consumer's lien. So now, the bailiff would not have personal property rights to your car now, would they? Because they bought the debt for 99 cents. Because the debt was already sold from TD Canada Trust to the bailiff corporation, and then now they want to come collect the car now and resell it back after they just bought the debt for 99 cents. So it's the same thing that like when someone call your phone and say, they want to collect for the Rogers bill that you didn't pay in the past 5 years, and it's on their desk, but we want to give you, we see that you owe 1,000, but if you pay 500 today, we would get rid of everything. So how does that make any sense? If you owe $1,000, wouldn't you want the full $1,000 if you truly owe that money? Because even if they get $500, it was 99 cents, so they're still profiting 1,000,000 times.
So you don't have to pay those debt either?
No.
Absolutely not. It's not a debt, it's an obligation. So it's two different meanings. So even the other day I had a judge in the court, it's the same thing I'm asking. The definition of debt and obligation is two different distinct meaning. So which one is it? Well, there's also a conflict of interest. She couldn't answer. She couldn't talk about it, right? Because she knows it's facts. Yeah.
So can Karen and my friend here, can they, especially her and her situation, can she go and put a lien on her own house right now?
She already have one from the deed.
Can she put her house in a trust at this particular point? Now that nothing's really quite started yet.
Yeah, but first she would have to have the trust.
So she can put her house in a trust, open a trust and put it in there? Well, yeah, I mean, can she create a trust and put it in there? Yeah.
And you would ever do that? Or you can help her do that?
I do.
The people that fund with everything.
I do.
Yeah, see?
It's a valid question.
No, I do.
Valid question. We're here for questions and answers and get back to you later.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my clock as well. So I do trust, I create trust, but I don't specialize in trust. I don't like doing them. So it's not my most full enjoyable work, but we're here training a few individuals as well, and we will provide the service if needs necessary, but I don't like doing it, but I know how to do it.
Excellent. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so we'll talk.
I've sent it to Manuel.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so Mama Ann, so we have a recess for the night.
Karen.